Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Gessel, and I'm the Director of Public Programs at Museum of the African Diaspora in San Francisco. MoAD is a contemporary art museum, and our exhibitions and programming inspire learning through the global lens of the African diaspora. I want to acknowledge the challenging circumstances that still remain, even as our spaces begin to open up and expand. MoAD stands in solidarity with Black Lives Matter in recognizing and condemning white supremacy and the ongoing systemic violence against Black people. We honor and mourn the senseless murders of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Tony McDade, Andre Hill, Dante Wright, and Ma'Khia Bryant. We grieve for so many others who have lost their lives at the hands of state-sanctioned violence, including those whose names we do not know. We want to acknowledge that MoAD's commitment to racial justice is ongoing, and as such, we will continue to say their names to hold space and honor these victims. As many of us are settlers, immigrants, or descendants of those forcefully brought to this continent, our institutions were founded upon exclusions and erasures of the indigenous peoples on whose land we are located. With deep respect, MoAD acknowledges that even in virtual space, we reside on unceded native lands, and thank the Ramaytush and Chochenyo Ohlone peoples of the Bay Area who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. I welcome you today to the program series African Diaspora Film Club, occurring monthly with Cornelius Moore, who is the co-director of California Newsreel, the 53-year-old social issue nonprofit film distribution and production company. He is also an independent film curator specializing in works from and about the Black world. I want to thank Black Public Media for co-sponsoring this series, and to POV, PBS's award-winning nonfiction film series, and Maison Noire Américaine for collaborating on this program with us. Today we will discuss the documentary CHEZ JOLIE COIFFURE. If you haven't seen the film, the link we have provided will be live through the end of the day tomorrow. And I'll put that in the chat. We're thrilled to have joining us for the discussion director Rosine Mbakam. Rosine grew up in Cameroon in a traditional family. She chose cinema very early and was trained in Yaoundé, Cameroon, with the team of the Italian NGO COE, Centro Orientamento Educativo, where she learned directing, editing, and production beginning in 2000. She collaborated and directed several films before joining the team of Spectrum Television in 2003, where she directed and edited several audiovisual programs. In 2007, she left Cameroon and enrolled in Brussels for a training course at INSAS. In 2014, with Jeffrey Cernay, she founded Tandoor Productions and directed The Two Faces of a Bamileke Woman, her first documentary released in 2017. She is currently working on several projects. We'll start the discussion with Cornelius and Rosine, and we'll encourage everyone to participate by making comments and sharing reactions in the chat and submitting questions through the Q&A box. And finally, please take a moment to type where you're joining us from in the chat. We love finding the diaspora in our audience. So I'll turn it over to you, Cornelius and Rosine. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Elizabeth. And welcome, Rosine, and thank you for being with us. And thank you for CHEZ JOLIE COIFFURE. I really enjoyed watching it. And so you're joining us from Brussels?
Yes.
Okay, great. I wanted to say one of the reasons why the film resonates for me, and I've watched it several times, is because just realizing that hair salons and barbershops, how their significance and importance for Black people when we're in a minority or we're away from home, my own personal experience I share with you when I was in Spain in the 1980s, and was living there for a while, and I had to get my hair cut. So I really searched out the West African community, immigrant community, to find somebody to be my barber. So That's I understand how important that is. So I want to ask you: was that kind of how you met Rosine yourself, or in that community there in the hair salon? That you because you needed you needed someone
No,
to. Okay.
it's not like that.
Uh,
It's because in SAS, my school of cinema was near of the gallery where
mm-hmm,
Sabine and the other girls was working.
mm-hmm,
And during 5 years of school, I was just crossing the gallery, but with a little bit, I was not comfortable when I was crossing the gallery. I didn't understand why I was uncomfortable when I was going there. And after the school, I wanted to question uh, that feelings, that why am I uncomfortable seeing those girls? Many of them was coming in the same neighborhood like me, and I was uncomfortable. And it was the origin of the film, and I asked a friend who knew a gallery better than me if she can introduce me to someone in the gallery, and she presents me Sabine. Is
mm-hmm,
how I met her, but
mm-hmm.
it's not by going there to do my,
The chairs.
my hair.
Uh-huh. So it's set in this um, I guess shop mall, we would say here, in the Matonge district.
Matonge,
Matonge.
Matonge.
Matonge. So tell us about that, more about that district. Is that where
Matonge.
African immigrants congregate?
Yes, Matonge is here in Brussels. Matonge is a place where every immigrant will go, African immigrant will go when they arrive here. If you want to find an African food or stuff for your hair or for your skin and all those things, you have to go to Matonge. It's where if you don't have paper and you want to work, you have to go there. And it's really, we can say now, an African neighborhood where you can find uh, uh, many things from Africa.
Mm-hmm. Given the colonial relationship of Belgium to Congo,
Yes.
I'm going to assume, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that many of the people who were in that area, or certainly in Brussels from the African continent, were from Congo.
Not only from Congo, but it's really diverse. You find many African country there, but even me, when I was didn't when I was didn't really know the gallery, I was thinking that it was many Congolese people, but it's not only Congolese people. But the origin of that neighborhood is that there was many students and politicians, African politicians, who were going there to discuss about the situation of Africa and how things can change. Now that gallery became a gallery to buy things, but in the origin is where young African students were discussing about the situation of Africa, the political situation of Africa.
So one final question in this area. Sabine, who's the proprietor of the hair salon, she mentioned something about the way that the Congolese they did their business with, and so it made me think. I wondered if what's the relationship between people from different countries, because Sabine and you and some quite a, maybe few of the other clients are from Cameroon. So what's the? Can you say something about
It's
the
a
relationship?
particular place because there is people there that finding money, and they are finding money, and the relation is a little bit conflictual, and there is a lot of tension between community because people are in the place of precarity, and they don't have enough to live, and they are there to find something to eat, something to live, and it's really, there is a lot of tension because it's because of precarity. It's not, yes, it's because it is the situation of Belgium who brings that kind of conflict because people are forced to just go there to find job, and because they cannot find that kind of job anywhere because they don't have papers, they are excluded in the society, and it is the only place where they can find job, they can have friends, they can speak to someone freely, and sometimes it's a little bit conflictual.
And a lot of, I imagine, competition for scarce resources. Okay.
Yes.
So maybe later I want to talk to you about the whole immigration issue because so that people who are watching or listening to us from the United States, for example, the situation of immigration and immigrants is probably different. There might be similarities, but there are also differences. But now I want to talk to you about the film, because your film is very intimate and you know, have people opening up their lives and their particular situation to you as a filmmaker. So how did you present the project to Sabine and make her comfortable to tell her to open up the salon to you and to tell her story, but also the other people, their clients there, to know that you were there filming, for them to feel comfortable by being and being filmed by you?
Sabine is a very generous person. I just, when my friend presented me to Sabine, I explained her my project and why I wanted to do a film, and she really accepts directly. And I think that after I was questioning how why she accept really directly, and when we were shooting the film, I just understand that she knew the power of the camera in that place, what the camera can show the reality, and what she wanted to say also about her condition, and the way that the context of the Belgium present her and the African immigration in the rest of the people in Belgium, or the rest of the world. I think that she have her own idea of what she wanted to say in the film. And I really understand that when I was doing that, not at that moment, because at that moment I was seeing just a generous person who was just accept me in her life and in her hair salon. But after that, I understand that it was more than that. She knew the power of what we can do with that film, and she contributed, because the film is a really collaboration with her, because she really helped me, even with the with her client. She really helped me to to present the project. All also present the project to the other girls, and it was a real collaboration, and we can see it in the film.
Well, that's great. Thank you for sharing that, because that was one of my questions about, did she to advocate for you as for the film with the
Yes.
clients? Yes, because
Yes.
otherwise they would be, who is this? No, I don't want to be filmed.
Yes, she was my protector and the protector of the project, because she really understand what we wanted to do, and she explained. Every client, we took time to just explain about the project before starting to shooting, and we did that with Sabine, because I didn't knew people that she introduced me to people in the gallery, and her client, she really introduced me.
And also, there was a scene where I think you were leaving your camera outside the salon, and she was being very protective of you and the equipment. So yeah.
Because I didn't realize all the danger that I can be exposed in the gallery, and she really told me, because I have my idea in my mind to do the film in the hair salon and in the gallery, but she really told me that the film that I have to do, it is in the hair salon, not in the gallery, because in the gallery it was another point of view. When I was outside the gallery, I was a danger for her, because the outside of the hair salon, it was danger. It was tourists, it was the police, and it was the insecurity. And she really helped me to understand, to make my choice as a filmmaker, where I have to do that film. Is it outside or inside of the salon? And Sabine really helped me to make that choice.
Well, that's very important what you're saying about this collaborative filmmaking. You know, that you work with her in formulating what the film would look like, and what the focus of the film would be. Is that, do you tend to make your films in that way?
No. I intend to just give the freedom to people to be what they want to be, more than what I want to do as a film. Because in the school of the cinema, we usually learn that we have, as a filmmaker, know what we want to do, know how we want to make our film. But it also closes people in the gaze of a filmmaker. When you bring only your idea on people or on a place, you close them in your idea, in your intention. But for it's how the West usually film Africa, by closing Africa in their idea of seeing Africa, not in the way that Africa is in the whole story of Africa. And for me, I really see that in the School of Cinema, this way that Africa was filming. And in that moment, I really choose to just give to people that I film the freedom to be what they want to be, beyond what I intend to film in your story.
So then it's important what you just said. You're breaking with the way that you were being trained, really, I guess, to present, to work with people.
Yes, because in the School of Cinema, we ask you to to find a subject. To find the subject, for me, the word subject is something that you use to do something. It's not something that came in you. For me, when I want to do a film, I'm not finding a subject. I'm finding a question that coming inside of me. When something comes inside of you, there is a reflexive way that imposes you to respect also the person that you film, the person that helped you to find the answer to your question. And for me, it is that relationship that I have with the origin of every film that I do. I'm not finding a subject, but I finding a question, a response of a question that I have. When I went to the gallery, I was finding a response, an answer to why I was uncomfortable when I was going in that gallery and seeing those girls who was coming in Cameroon like me, why I was uncomfortable. I did that film to just find the answer to that feeling. And for me, it was not only about Sabine, it was also about me.
So what answer did you find to your question?
I just, when I was in Salon, I just see that I was in the wrong position. I was in the position of the police. I was in the position of the tourist that was seeing, watching Sabine and the other girls. I was in the wrong position. And as a filmmaker, it was a moment of, oh my God. And I was saying that when I want to film a person or a situation, I have to find the right position to seeing people. And as a filmmaker, we sometimes miss that right position. Are we in the right position to tell a story? I think that many people in the West that going in Africa to doing film, they are not in the right position to tell those story. I think that we have the same problem in the US. Many people didn't have the right to film Black people. They don't have the right position. And when you are not in the right position, you cannot build the right relationship with people. And the film, for me, it's wrong, it's fake, it's not, we can feel it.
And I think we can feel it from your film, is that you're part of the process, because there are certain scenes where it's clear that you're on the scene and people who are in the salon are asking you questions and involving you. So it's collaborative. It's not exploitive. You're not exploiting, and also it's not extracting. You are involved in giving back, and it's a two-way process. So thank you for that. I think that's a very significant thing that you're talking about. So speaking about that, there are several scenes where we see, I don't know if they're tourists or just people, white Europeans who pass by the hair salon, who look in and Rosine is saying, well, like we're in a zoo. That's how they were approaching us. Was that something where you given your experience as someone who lives in Brussels, what was your reaction to that? Did you anticipate that? Was that a surprise to you?
No,
Mhm.
no. It was it was at that moment that I knew that I was in the wrong position.
Mhm.
It was the origin of my feeling of uncomfortable.
Mm.
Yes, it was that because I was in the position of the adversary.
Adversary.
Yes,
Huh.
I was not in the wrong in the yes. Even Sabine, if I'm in the outside of the salon, I'm she was seeing me as a danger because
Mm.
if I am looking at her like something like a person that I know, I have to open the door. I have to come in.
Mm.
I have to come in. I will not stay outside. And if I stay outside, I'm not with her.
Mhm.
I'm against her.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I didn't anticipate that because I couldn't see that. You cannot see it when you are outside.
Okay. Uh-huh.
You have to be in and you have to take the position of Sabine to see that.
Mhm.
And it's why I put my camera in the way that people who is watching the film have to take that place to feel that, to
Mhm.
feel that
Mhm.
gaze of people on them also,
Mhm.
not only on Sabine, but on them also.
I'm glad that you did focus the film specifically on the salon, but did you ever consider exploring Sabine's life outside of the salon, following her where she lived, where going, traveling to this salon from where she lived, to get to have a portrait of her life apart from the salon. Did you ever consider that?
It wasn't possible
Mhm.
because the salon were the only place where Sabine and the other girls can be herself.
Mhm.
Outside of the salon, they have to be in representation of what the society want them to be. Sabine outside of the salon, she have to do like she have her paper, because if people know that she didn't have the paper, if the police know that she didn't have the paper, they will catch her, and she have to play and to do like the society want her to be. She cannot speak loudly because if she uh, bring attention on her, she can have trouble.
Mhm.
Outside of the Sabine, I don't have the real Sabine because
Mhm.
she is in a representation.
Mhm.
She is
Mhm.
in a representation of someone that the society want her to be.
Mhm.
The salon is the place where Sabine can speak like that. She
Mhm.
can speak only like that in the salon. Outside of the salon, she's quiet.
Mhm.
She have to be we say it in French, discret.
Discreet. Mhm.
Yes, yes. She cannot bring attention on her, because if she bring attention on her, she can have trouble.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
It's why for me, I understand that really quickly, because for me, I can see that outside of the salon, even in the metro, Sabine, she's really in the near of the door, because if she saw the police, she had to go
Mhm.
quickly. She's
Mhm.
not free. She's not free to be like she wants to be. And the salon was the place where I can see her be a little bit what she wants to be, or speak freely and loudly.
And she's always moving. A lot of the scenes of her always working, always being active, doing something in the salon, planning things, working with the hair. So she's just a ball of energy. So never, I don't think there's ever a scene with her just like sitting down and having
yes,
to.
she is the contrary of how the society describe migration here. They describe people like Sabine, that like people that came here and just take profit of the society,
take advantage.
take advantage of the society and people that doesn't work. And Sabine was the contrary of how they describe migration, African migration here. Sabine works 12 hours per day.
12. Wow.
Yes. And she is the contrary of what people think about her here. She is the contrary. She always doing something. She always doing something.
So following up on that and her describing her situation and her story, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you asked about a story of to tell a story of a woman who was migrating, and she told a story of a woman who went to Lebanon and came to Brussels, and then later it's a similar story she tells about her. So were they both Sabine's story, or
it was her story, but it was the first time, it was in the beginning of our relationship. I think that she didn't trust me enough to tell me directly her story. And the second time, it was, I think, 6 or 7 months later that she told me. And I wanted to put the two intervention because I wanted to show that there is a time to build a confidence with a character. It's need a time to build a relationship, and when we build that relationship, we can see how that confidence can bring something bigger than us. And when Sabine freely tell me her own story, it was for me the result of our relationship, that we built together.
Well, it was frightening to hear about what she endured in coming from the continent of Africa to get to Brussels, and how dangerous it was probably for her and other people, particularly women in that situation. And so I think it's important with the way it's revealed in the film, that you get a sense of it. But she's also sort of saying, I survived it.
Yes.
I'm here now. I would never want to have that again, but
yes.
I'm on the other side of it.
Yes.
So yeah. So we have a couple questions. I wanted to bring those ideas into the conversation. That there was a talk about the I guess the Tontine, or the glowworm group, and for people who don't know what that is, I think particularly for women entrepreneurs, what is that as a way of economic development or sustainability for immigrant? We're not just, immigrants, and that's something that's brought from their communities in Africa.
It's a reproduction of what we women do in Africa, in Cameroon. It's a way, it's an organization of a group of women or men that came together to just help each other for sickness, for marriage, for birth, and also the way of keep money and help people. And
so tell us what it is. I mean, from the beginning, how is it structured? How do people participate in it?
Women came and just you have we call it in French épargne. It's the way of keep money like in the bank. You came and just leave an amount of money that you have to just keep, and that money people can we say in French buy money. You buy money. You want to, I don't know how to explain it in English, but you took a money, and when you give back that money, you have to give a little bit more. And after that, in the end of the year, you can take your money with a little bit profit. And in the same Tontine, you can have a system of the collect money, and every person, if you have 10 person, for example, and every week, for example, my mother have a tontine that she have every week, and she put I can say $5 per week. Per week she put $5, and per week every person put $5 and give it to one person in the in the group. And in the end of the tontine, every 10 person will have the money, and it will begin again.
Okay.
My mother, every week she put $5, and it is a tontine of 10 women, and it will give $50 every week, and they will took that $50 and give it to one woman. And in the end of the tontine, every woman have to have that $50. And when every woman will have that $50, the tontine will begin again. And it is a system, and you can have a tontine of $5 per week. You can have a tontine of $50 per month, and it's like that. And it's a way that it's a help. It's how my mother and my father pay our scholarship and buy us things. And it's a like a system of bank, but traditional bank, and you don't have to have a structure to go there, and it is tradition, and it's people. And my mother, when a person have a sudden problem, it can come in the tontine and say that I have this problem and I need money, and they can decide to give her money at that time to just resolve her problem.
So it's kind of like a mutual aid society.
Yes.
Yeah. So were there other institutions like this, or gathering places like the Salon, where African immigrants would gather for community and support, that you could share with us?
In Belgium, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there is only people, African people reproduce the way of living in Africa here. People are, I know that there is many tontine here in Brussels, and people are seeing, I see every weekend to just discuss, and I know that when in the Cameroonian community, when the Cameroonian have a big problem here, I can receive an email of the community that tell me that there is this problem. If I have I want to contribute, I can contribute, I can do this and that. And I know that during the quarantine, there was an organization to help young Cameroonian student here that during the quarantine didn't have job and didn't have something to eat, and you can go there and give rice or potatoes or what you have. There is always a way of help and just organize to help someone in the community. And I know that when when people have a death, even if it is in Cameroon, people can come in your house to just stay with you and to help you to do your grief. And yes, and you are not alone doing that.
So, question for how the film has been received and where you showed it. Have you shown it to the people in the Salon? But you also earlier when we were preparing for this, you mentioned that you showed the film in Cameroon. So please tell us about those different experiences and also what the reaction was. I'm also curious about, has the film helped people in Europe and Belgium become more appreciative and sensitive to the challenges of the immigrant community? So
yes, yes, people, because it's not people didn't have access to that kind of place. And I know that I have some white friends here who say that it was a privilege to see the film because it's a place that it's not easy to have access, and to have access to that kind of speech. And the seeing the film, it was really a privilege for them, seeing and hearing Sabine telling the story. And it was a kind of open, there was like, oh my God, I didn't see that when I went there, when I was in the gallery. And you cannot see that. You have to be in a relationship with people to have that kind of speech and but in the place where we show the film, it was important to me to going back in Cameroon with that film and just to show the film to people in Cameroon. It was really important. And in 2019, we create a caravan cinema in my production structure to bring back the film that we can do here, to bring back, because it is for me essential, because my desire of doing film born there, and I need to bring the film there. And we create caravan cinema to go in the in the neighborhood and in the Tontine to show film there, to discuss with people about what they see. It's only like that that things can change, and also I think that in Africa everything is a sport. Outside of Africa, all the things in Africa, all the riches, all the things, it's a sport outside of Africa. But the thought of people is not exporting. How people are thinking in Africa, many people in the world don't know about that. And for me, doing film like CHEZ JOLIE COIFFURE is saying that this is what people like Sabine and like me have in our mind. This is how we think. It is important because we are submerged even here by the thought only for the West. The West is speaking to the West, but the West is not confront her thought with what other people outside of the West are thinking. And for me, doing film is just for me the way of saying that this is what people are thinking about the West. This is how people are thinking about them. And caravan cinema, it is a way of confronting that in Cameroon. And we are doing simultaneous screening of the same film here in the West and in the Cameroon to confront the two public. And for me, it's only like that things can change, and to confront the thoughts, to confront the gaze, and it will break many prejudices.
Prejudices, yes. Well, Sabine cannot go back to Cameroon, but you were able to take the film to show it to her family.
Yes.
Tell us about that, please.
It was magical because her father and her mother was crying because it was like she was at home, because we put a big screen in front of the family house, and there was the friends of Sabine and the parent, the family, and what her father said, it was like, thank you for bringing back my child, even if she is not physically there, I can feel her presence. And for me, it was a big present for me, because I didn't think that by doing a film, I can make someone feel like that. And yes, it was a really big moment for me to doing that. And just even caravan cinema, and in Cameroon, we show the film to young people, and you can see how the film can just make its own way on people. I'm not exist anymore as a filmmaker. The film exists alone, I can say. And
the film has a kind of a life of its own.
Yes.
So I know. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
And we want to continue to do that, caravan cinema in school, to just confront young people there with young people there. How do they think? How did they think about a subject? How did they think about a film? How we confront that? And as the way of doing my film, I think that when we confront two thoughts or two gaze, it's beyond that. It's beyond what we are talking. And because I doing a cinema of confrontation, I learn by confrontation. And I know that it is essential to confront people and to confront thoughts, to confront gaze. And it is important. And for me, I really, yes, I really have the faith that something can come out of that.
So I know people are very curious about people they met in the film, Monsieur Gassier, and what happened with him and his wife. That and also maybe more significantly what happened with Sabine and her situation. Please let us know.
Monsieur Gassier have his paper now. He's a free man, and I don't have any other news. Sabine told me that he has his paper now. And
his wife?
And his wife, I don't know. I don't know, but I hope that they are together now. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but and
Sabine?
I think that Sabine now it's the only person that didn't have the paper. The other girls have the paper. All the people of the film have the paper now, but Sabine is the only one that didn't have the paper.
But she can still work in her salon?
She's really, I really admire her because nothing can stop her. Even if she don't have her paper now, she continues. She have a really big hair salon. It's not in the gallery, it's outside of the gallery. And she have a restaurant also. She have a restaurant. She continue to dream. She continue to do many things, but the only thing is that she don't have the freedom to go back and see her family, and it's the only thing that make her very sad because it's now 15 years that she didn't see her parents, her family, and it's really difficult to live like that.
There's a scene about where the police are going into the mall and raiding people, and it's a very frightening scene. Is that something that happens a lot there? And is that something that she worries about, that would happen to her?
Yes, after that the police arrest her 3 times. I don't know, it was after when the film came out, and after 3 times they arrest her, and we have to mobilize people to find a way to get her back, and we succeed that 3 times. But yeah, she really afraid that she can just have a bad policeman that will send her back in Cameroon. And
a question of what's the reason that they can arrest her if she can work and make money? So what's the charge that
she don't have the right to work. She don't have the paper. Legally she cannot do that. She cannot do that. She cannot work. But when she she go every day in her hair salon or in her restaurant. She is in illegality. She cannot do that. But she's yes, every day. I think that she is. Yeah, she live with that fear of being arrested.
So I think I've answered all the questions. Elizabeth, are there any other questions that I didn't pose to Rosine that before we go?
There's one in the chat that asks about how the film reveals the artist's skills, but also more the tremendous physical demands on the work, and just wondering if you observed any of the demands on her body, her legs or wrists, if that was ever a part of your filming of the physical toll of the work she was doing.
If she was physically, I don't understand.
For the women who are on their feet doing the in the hair salon,
yes.
if they're working so much, if that was physically stressful for them because they're working with their hands, because they're standing so many hours. So the question is about, did you notice the toll on them?
I know that Sabine have her back. She really I don't know how to say that, but because she's standing 20 hours, she's standing up every time, and she's not sit down, and it's not easy to stay like that a lot of time a day. And but I think that for Sabine, the time, because I stayed there 1 year, the time that I observe her, she don't really in her body. She like I'm working. I have to leave. I'm working, and she don't really understand what her body is telling to her, even if she's tired or not. She's not. She rebuked that in her mind. I don't want to face my body. Now I have to work. I need to work, and I do that. It's like a routine, like, yes. And when the only time that I hear her saying that I'm tired, after that she was guilty to saying that she was tired too. Yeah, she was like, I don't have to say that. I don't have to say that. She rebuked to the fact that she can be a human, and she can say things that I'm tired. Yes.
Well, I want to congratulate you, because I know that you have a new film that's going to premiere at the New York Film Festival next month.
Yes.
And so it's called Prism.
Yes.
And I don't think, I think if you're in New York, you could see it. I don't know if they're going to do streaming of it to outside of New York. I looked, and I don't think they are this time. They did it last year.
I don't know, but the film it's in the theater in BAM in New York also.
Oh, in Brooklyn.
Yes. And the two film, it's the film Prayers and Prism that is there, and I think that they can stream that. I think. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. We'll investigate that. So people who are interested in your work, and I encourage everybody because your work is fantastic. I look forward to everything that you do.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And so will you be going to New York?
No.
Okay.
I because I was in Cameroon last month, and it was I was shooting there with my family, and it was very intense, and I'm really tired. I really want to be there because I know that in the US people are so kind with me to welcome my work, and I'm so grateful of that. And I was a little bit, I don't know, I want to come, I don't want to come.
Mm-hmm.
And it was difficult to say that I cannot, because I know how much the public of US helped me to be known also, and I'm really grateful of that, and I hope that I can come very soon and share my work directly with people.
Well, we hope so too. There is one question. We have one more time. Someone has posted that she read something online about sort of suggesting that the film and the tension on Sabine was a kind of retaliation against her for her not getting her legal troubles resolved. And do you have something to say about that?
I didn't understand what
that because there's attention to her case, that and that this was a kind of retaliation of not giving her providing her with papers as a way about to retaliation. You understand? And
no, it's
retaliation. I don't know. To hurt her, to say, well, we understand that you're campaigning for yourself, and you're now a public figure, and that we want to say, well, no, we're not going to let, because you are a public figure now, that we're going to punish you.
It's possible, but you know that here in Belgium, giving paper to people that are illegal, it's sometimes connect to the political party that it is in the government, and it is not a social political party that it is in government, and it is difficult to give paper to people like Sabine, and yes, it can be take like that, like you want to force us to give you paper by doing film, and now we can say no, and for that. But I really hope that political situation will change, and with that change, it can help her have her papers.
Yeah, we do too. Thank you very much, Rosine.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me the platform to share my thoughts. And like I said, that it's really important as African to have the space to share our thoughts, because we don't have the space. And I think that, as I said, that the West is talking to the West, it's not talking, it's like talking to yourself, and we have to confront, the West have to confront the thought with the other way of thinking. It's for me the only way that things can change.
I agree. Thank you very much, and much success to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rosine, for your work and for this conversation. And thank you, Cornelius, for your always thoughtful questions.
Thank you.
I do want to let people know what's coming up next. Next African Diaspora Film Club program will be on Sunday, October 10th, and we'll be back to our 5 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be discussing the documentary Finding Sally, a film that tells the incredible story of a 23-year-old woman from an upper-class family who became a communist rebel with the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Party. And we'll be joined by the filmmaker Tamara Dawit. The film is available through Black Public Media's Afropop, the Ultimate Cultural Exchange, and I did put a link to that in the chat. You can find it on our website as well. We hope that you can take a minute to fill out our virtual program survey and give us feedback about today's program. And as always, if you have any room to donate to MoAD, we will always appreciate a donation of any size. And again, I want to thank Black Public Media, POV, and Maison Noire Americaine for supporting and promoting this program today. Thank you all so much and have a lovely rest of your day and what's left of your evening, Rosine. Thank you for joining us all the way from Brussels. It's very exciting to have you. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.